The Discovery. Deep Space Monitoring Station Alpha 7 hung in the void like a forgotten ornament, a utilitarian collection of sensor arrays and habitat modules, orbiting a nameless dwarf star at the edge of human-controlled space. Inside, Lieutenant Commander Maya Chen stared at her console, fighting to stay alert during the final hours of her 36-hour shift. 17 more minutes, she muttered, sipping the lukewarm remnants of her synthetic coffee. After 15 years in deep space service, Maya had learned to count down the minutes of her shifts with the precision of an atomic clock. The console chirped. Maya straightened, instantly alert. Alpha 7's long-range quantum sensors had detected something. Something big. "Computer, verify signal integrity," she commanded, fingers flying across the holographic interface. Signal integrity verified, at 99.7%. The station's eye replied. Anomalous energy signature detected in Sector 947, Quadrant 3. Maya frowned. Sector 947 was empty space. No stars, no planets, nothing but cosmic dust and the occasional hydrogen atom. There shouldn't be anything there capable of generating an energy signature this powerful. "Show me." The main view screen flickered to life, displaying a starfield overlaid with sensor data. At first, Maya saw nothing unusual. Then the computer enhanced the image, and her breath caught in her throat. Something was there, a massive structure that seemed to flicker in and out of existence, its outline never quite stable. It was approximately 2 kilometers long, with a design unlike anything humans had built. Parts of it appeared translucent, while others were solid as steel. Energy readings fluctuated wildly, defying every known law of physics. Computer, analyze structure composition. Unable to comply. Material composition fluctuates between unknown alloys, energy states, and error, quantum variance detected. Maya's hand hovered over the emergency alert button. This was beyond her pay grade. This was beyond anyone's pay grade. She pressed it. 48 hours later, the UES Horizon, Earth's most advanced research vessel, dropped out of FTL at the coordinates Maya had transmitted. Captain Eleanor Washington stood on the bridge, her stern features illuminated by the glow of holographic displays. "Report," she commanded. "Target is holding position, Captain." Lieutenant Park, the sensor officer, replied. "Energy readings are off the charts, but inconsistent. It's like the object exists in multiple states simultaneously." Washington nodded, her expression revealing nothing of the anxiety churning in her stomach. After 30 years in Earth's Space Force, she had seen her share of anomalies, but nothing like this. "Open a channel," she ordered. "All frequencies, all known communication protocols." Communications Officer Garcia shook his head after several attempts. "No response, Captain. But there's something odd. The object seems to be absorbing our signals rather than reflecting or ignoring them." Washington turned to the science station, where Dr. Kazuo Takahashi, the ship's chief xenotechnologist, hunched over his instruments. "Doctor, your assessment." Takahashi looked up, his eyes wide with a mixture of fear and excitement. "Captain, whatever this is, it wasn't built by any known civilization. The technology is impossible. Parts of the structure appear to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Some sections are generating energy from what appears to be nothing." "Is it a ship?" "I believe so," Takahashi replied. "And if it is, it's a warship. Those are weapon emplacements along the hull. At least, that's what they look like. But they're unlike any weapons I've ever seen." Washington considered her options. First contact protocols dictated caution, but her orders from Earth Command were clear: investigate and assess. "Prepare an exploration team," she ordered. "Full hazard protocols. Dr. Takahashi, you'll lead." The exploration shuttle approached the impossible vessel cautiously. Up close, the ship was even more bewildering. Its hull rippled like water despite being apparently solid, and sections faded in and out of visibility, as if struggling to remain in this reality. Inside the shuttle, Maya Chen checked her hazard suit one final time. After reporting the anomaly, she had been reassigned to the Horizon as a specialist. Now she was about to board an impossible ship. "Nervous, Lieutenant Commander?" Takahashi asked. Maya nodded. "Only a fool wouldn't be, Doctor." The shuttle's pilot, Lieutenant Rodriguez, called back from the cockpit. "We're approaching what looks like a docking port, but wait, something's happening." A section of the vessel's hull simply vanished, revealing what could only be described as a docking bay. No doors had opened. The material had simply ceased to exist. "It's inviting us in," Takahashi whispered. After docking, the exploration team, Takahashi, Maya, and 3 security officers, stepped cautiously into the ship. Their helmet lights illuminated corridors that seemed to stretch endlessly, with walls covered in shifting, flowing patterns that might have been writing or circuit pathways or both. "Atmosphere readings?" Takahashi asked. "Oxygen-nitrogen mix," one of the security officers replied. "Pressure and temperature within human comfort zones. It's perfectly breathable." "Keep your helmets on," Maya ordered. Something about this felt wrong. Too convenient, too perfect. They moved deeper into the vessel, documenting everything with their suit cameras. The interior architecture defied conventional design. Rooms appeared larger inside than their external dimensions should allow. Corridors looped back on themselves despite maintaining straight paths, and gravity shifted subtly as they walked, always orienting down toward the floor regardless of the ship's actual structure. "It's like it was designed by someone who understood the concept of human ships, but had never actually seen one," Maya observed as they entered what appeared to be a control center. The room was dominated by what could only be a command chair, surrounded by interfaces that looked almost, but not quite, like human control systems. Everything was scaled for human use, despite the obvious alien origin of the technology. "Do you think it's safe to touch anything?" one of the security officers asked. Before anyone could answer, the room illuminated. Holographic displays sprang to life around them, showing star charts, technical schematics, and data streams in an unfamiliar language that somehow seemed comprehensible at the edges of Maya's consciousness. Takahashi approached one of the displays cautiously. "Incredible. These appear to be weapon systems, defense grids, offensive capabilities beyond anything we've ever developed." "Doctor," Maya said, voice tight with concern, "I don't think we should be." The command chair rotated, seemingly of its own accord, facing Maya directly. "An invitation." "Don't," Rodriguez warned. But Maya felt drawn to it, as if the chair, the ship itself, was calling to her. She took a step forward. "Lieutenant Commander," Takahashi said sharply, "we should report back before taking any further action." Maya nodded, forcing herself to step back. "You're right. Let's." The ship shuddered. Emergency lights flashed through the corridors. "What's happening?" Rodriguez demanded. One of the displays changed, showing the space around them. The Horizon was backing away, weapon systems online. "They're preparing to fire on us," Maya realized. "They must think the ship is activating to attack." Takahashi hid his calm. "Horizon, this is Takahashi. Hold fire. The ship is responding to our presence, not becoming hostile." No response. The comm system was dead. The impossible ship trembled again, and Maya knew with sudden, inexplicable certainty that it was preparing defensive measures. Without understanding why, she lunged for the command chair, dropping into it before anyone could stop her. The moment she made contact, her mind exploded with information, images, concepts, technologies beyond human understanding. The chair molded around her, interfaces connecting directly to her neural pathways. Through the ship's sensors, Maya watched as the Horizon fired a warning shot, a high-energy plasma burst that should have at least scorched the impossible ship's hull. Instead, the energy simply disappeared, absorbed into the ship's structure. Maya felt the vessel channeling the energy, converting it, storing it. And she understood. "It's a gift," she gasped, her voice sounding strange even to her own ears. "The ship, it was left for us." "Left by them? Left by whom?" Takahashi demanded, approaching cautiously. Maya's eyes flashed with reflected light from the displays. "The predecessors. They're gone now. But they knew we would come. They knew we would need it." "Need it for what?" Rodriguez asked. Before Maya could answer, new information flooded her consciousness. Star charts, navigational data, and a warning. A terrible warning. "They're coming," she whispered. "And we're not ready." On the display, the Horizon held position, weapons still trained on them. Maya knew she had to establish communication, had to explain. The knowledge of how to do so flowed into her mind from the ship itself. With a thought, she activated the vessel's communication systems, bypassing traditional channels and connecting directly with the Horizon's computers. On the bridge of the research vessel, Captain Washington stared in disbelief as her displays changed, showing an image of Maya seated in what appeared to be the alien vessel's command center. "Captain Washington," Maya said, her voice resonating with newfound authority. "Please stand down. This ship is not a threat to us. It's a legacy left by a civilization that vanished millennia ago. And we're going to need it." "Explain, Lieutenant Commander," Washington demanded. Maya's expression was grim. "There's something coming, Captain. Something the predecessors fought and failed to defeat. But they believed we might succeed where they failed. That's why they left us this ship. A warship that shouldn't exist, yet does. A weapon beyond our understanding." "And how do you know this?" "Because," Maya replied, "the ship is telling me. It's been waiting for us. For humanity." As if to emphasize her point, the impossible warship's exterior began to change, its fluctuating form stabilizing into a sleek, intimidating configuration that somehow combined alien aesthetics with recognizable human design elements. "Captain," Maya continued, "we need to contact Earth immediately. There isn't much time." Washington hesitated, then nodded. "Very well, Lieutenant Commander. But I want you and your team back on the Horizon within the hour. Whatever this ship is, whatever it's telling you, Earth Command needs to know." Maya nodded, but she already knew that wouldn't be possible. The neural connection forming between her and the impossible ship couldn't be severed so easily, and the knowledge flowing into her mind made one thing painfully clear. Humanity's peaceful exploration of the stars was about to end. The awakening. The emergency session of Earth's Unified Defense Council stretched into its fifth hour. Holographic displays showed the impossible warship from every angle, alongside data streams that made little sense to anyone not directly involved in the investigation. Admiral Helena Geo, commander of Earth's defense fleet, paced before the assembled military and political leaders. "Let me be clear," she said, her voice cutting through the murmured conversations. "Lieutenant Commander Chen claims this vessel was left for humanity by an extinct alien civilization as a defense against some unknown threat. She further claims that the ship has formed a neural link with her, feeding her information about this supposed enemy." She stopped pacing, fixing her gaze on the holographic image of the ship. "The question before this council is, do we trust this information, or is this some form of alien subversion?" Dr. Eliza Mbeki, Earth's foremost tenopsychologist, cleared her throat. "Admiral, my team has been monitoring Lieutenant Commander Chen's neural patterns throughout her connection with the vessel. While there are anomalies, there's no evidence of cognitive manipulation or personality alteration. She believes what she's saying is true." "Believing doesn't make it true," General Santos interjected. "This could be the most sophisticated trap ever set." On the Horizon, now joined by 3 UDC cruisers maintaining a defensive perimeter around the impossible ship, Maya Chen sat in the vessel's command chair, absorbing knowledge at a rate that should have overwhelmed her human mind. But the ship, she had begun thinking of it as the legacy, adapted its neural interface to accommodate her limitations. Dr. Takahashi and his team of scientists worked around her, studying the ship's systems with a mixture of awe and frustration. Most of the technology remained incomprehensible despite weeks of examination. "Commander," Takahashi said, approaching the command chair cautiously, "we've been able to verify some of what the ship has shown you. The star charts match our own, and the historical data about the predecessor's civilization correlates with archaeological findings from the Epsilon Eridani system." Maya nodded absently, her attention focused on the stream of technical information flowing through her consciousness. The legacy was teaching her how its systems worked, preparing her for what was coming. "They're still debating whether to trust us," she said finally. "Earth Command. They think this might be a trap." Takahashi frowned. "How do you know that?" "We haven't received any communications. The legacy is monitoring their transmissions," Maya replied. "Not to spy, to protect. It's been programmed to safeguard humanity." An alarm sounded throughout the ship, not a human alarm, but a distinctive tone that Maya immediately recognized through her connection. "What's happening?" Takahashi demanded. Maya's eyes widened as information flooded her mind. "They're here. Sooner than expected. The first scout ships. The Legacy's sensors, operating on principles beyond current human science, had detected what Earth's most advanced systems could not. 5 small vessels approaching from the direction of the Aquila constellation, moving at speeds that should have been impossible without generating detectable engine signatures. Through the neural link, Maya activated the communication system again, connecting directly to Admiral Zhao aboard the UDC flagship Indomitable. "Admiral," she said without preamble, "we have incoming. 5 scout ships, approximately 15 minutes from detection range of Earth's sensors." Zhao's expression hardened. "Commander Chen, we have no such readings." "You will," Maya replied. "The Legacy's sensors operate differently. Trust me, trust us, and prepare your ships." 14 minutes later, Earth's defense grid registered the approaching vessels. Zhao's face reappeared on the Legacy's communication display, her composure cracked by the first hints of fear. "How did you know?" "I told you," Maya said. "The Legacy was created to defend against them. It knows their capabilities, their tactics." "And who exactly are they?" Maya hesitated, sorting through the knowledge the ship had imparted. "The ship calls them the Harvesters. They're not like us, not like any life we've encountered. They don't communicate, negotiate, or show mercy. They consume resources, technology, life itself." On the display, tactical information appeared, showing the scout ship's capabilities: energy weapons beyond human technology, defensive systems that could absorb conventional attacks, and FTL drives that operated on principles Earth scientists had only theorized about. "We can't fight those with our current weapons," Zhao stated, a blunt assessment rather than a surrender. "No," Maya agreed, "but the Legacy can." She closed her eyes, connecting more deeply with the ship's combat systems. Knowledge flooded her mind: weapon capabilities, tactical options, defense protocols that defied conventional physics. "Admiral, I need your ships to fall back. What's about to happen? I can't guarantee their safety if they're too close." Zhao hesitated, then nodded. "Very well, Commander. But know this, if those scout ships get past you, Earth's entire defense fleet stands ready." As the human ships retreated to a safer distance, Maya fully embraced the Legacy's combat systems. The ship hummed around her, energy coursing through pathways that existed partially in other dimensions. Weapons that had lain dormant for millennia activated under her guidance. The scout ships detected the energy surge and changed course, accelerating toward the Legacy with obvious hostile intent. They recognized the ship, Maya realized aloud. They know what it is, what it can do. Takahashi and his team had retreated to a secure section of the vessel, monitoring the confrontation through the Legacy's internal systems. "Commander," Takahashi communicated, "whatever you're planning, remember we still don't fully understand this technology." Maya grimaced. "Neither do I, Doctor, but the ship does." The lead scout ship fired, a beam of coherent energy that would have vaporized Earth's most heavily armored vessel. It struck the Legacy's defensive field and simply vanished, absorbed into the impossible ship's energy systems. Maya felt the power being redirected, channeled into the Legacy's primary weapon array. With a thought, she targeted the Lid Scout and released a fraction of the stored energy. The beam that emerged from the Legacy didn't look impressive. A slender thread of silvery light that connected the two vessels for a brief moment. But where it touched the scout ship, reality itself seemed to warp. The scout's hull didn't explode or disintegrate. Instead, it collapsed inward, folding into impossible geometries before vanishing entirely. The remaining scouts broke formation, executing evasive maneuvers that pushed the limits of their advanced technology. Two turned to flee, while the other two continued their attack, firing from multiple angles. Again, the Legacy absorbed their attacks, growing stronger with each energy weapon discharged against it. Maya felt the ship's systems responding to her thoughts with increasing precision as the neural link deepened. One by one, she eliminated the attacking scouts, each victory strengthening the connection between human and impossible ship. When the battle ended, Maya slumped in the command chair, physically exhausted but mentally exhilarated. Admiral Zhao's face appeared on the communication display again. "Commander Chen, your vessel's capabilities are impressive. But those were merely scouts. What happens when the main fleet arrives?" Through the Legacy's sensors, Maya could already detect disturbances in spacetime, the first signs of a larger force approaching. "Admiral, what you just witnessed was the Legacy operating at less than 5% capacity. The predecessors built it to face armies, not scouts." Zhao's expression remained skeptical. Even so, one ship, regardless of how advanced, cannot defend an entire planet. Maya smiled for the first time since discovering the impossible ship. "That's where you're wrong, Admiral. The Legacy was never meant to fight alone." Through the neural link, she activated a dormant system within the ship's core, a manufacturing complex that operated on principles similar to the ship itself, drawing materials and energy from multiple dimensions simultaneously. The predecessors couldn't defeat the harvesters because they found this technology too late, Maya explained. They created the Legacy as their last hope, but couldn't mass-produce the technology in time. We have that chance. On the display, schematics appeared. Smaller vessels based on the Legacy's technology, designed to be operated by human pilots with modified neural interfaces. The Legacy can build these, Maya continued. Not thousands, not in the time we have. But dozens, perhaps 100. Enough to make a difference. Zhao studied the schematics, years of military experience evident in her calculating gaze. "And you believe humans can pilot these vessels?" "With the right neural adaptation, yes. The Legacy can modify its interface technology for compatibility with human pilots." After a moment's consideration, Zhao nodded. "I'll present this to the Council immediately. In the meantime, Commander Chen, begin production. Every ship we can deploy before the main harvester fleet arrives increases our chances." As the Admiral's image faded, Maya leaned back in the command chair, feeling the Legacy's systems working around her. Through the ship's sensors, she observed Earth, blue and beautiful against the void of space, unaware of how close it had come to annihilation. "We'll be ready," she promised, not sure if she was speaking to herself, to Earth, or to the long-vanished predecessors who had entrusted their legacy to humanity. "When they come, we'll be ready." In the heart of the impossible warship, production began. Humanity's first step toward a future the predecessors had only dreamed of. A future where the impossible became possible, where physics was not a limitation but a suggestion, and where one species' end became another's beginning. The Legacy, a warship that shouldn't exist, had found its purpose at last.